Ever feel like you're drowning in a sea of marketing tools trying to keep your business running smoothly? What if you could simplify it all with one platform? That's where Go High Level comes in, your all in one sales and marketing solution built for small businesses like you. In fact, Go High Level has over 1 million users just like you. With Go High Level, you can capture leads, automate your prospect and client journeys, quickly and efficiently build stunning websites, sales pages, and sales funnels. Imagine managing your CRM, email, SMS, and funnels without duct taping a dozen tools together. Plus, their unlimited plan lets you add as many contacts and users as you need, no hidden fees. We've been using Go High Level for over a year now and absolutely love it. In fact, Profit First Nation is also powered by Go High Level. Ready to level up? Start your Profit First Nation extended 30-day free trial today at www.gohighlevel.com/Profit First Nation. That's www.gohighlevel.com/Profit First Nation. Streamline your workflow, impress your clients, and grow smarter, not harder.
Hello, Profit First Nation. It's Mike Michalowicz, the author of Profit First. If you've been looking for a bank account to help you do Profit First right, North One has got you covered. It's the only business account with built-in tools designed in collaboration with and endorsed by me, Profit First Professionals, and Profit First Nation. With North One, you can set up Profit First envelopes with a single click and leverage the North One technology to automatically facilitate your allocations with every deposit. 320,000 businesses are using North One to simplify their cash management and get back to what they love. And how cool is this? Profit First Nation listeners get a $50 bonus when they open and fund an account. Go to profitfirstnation.com and click on step number 1 to access the North One bonus link and open your North One bank account to do Profit First right. North One is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank, member FDIC. Profit First Nation listeners get a $50 bonus when they open and fund an account. North One envelopes let you designate a portion of your balance to view on the mobile app or website to help you stay organized. For more information, see our deposit account agreement. Welcome to Profit First Nation, the official podcast for entrepreneurs who are operating their businesses in the zone of permanent profitability. I'm Mike Michalowicz, the author of Profit First, and now, here's your Profit First Nation guide, Daniel Mulvey.
Welcome to Profit First Nation, the podcast for the top 17% of entrepreneurs with cash in the bank to correlate to their profitability. Profit First Nation is the podcast for intelligent entrepreneurs who have taken ownership of their financials and leverage Profit First as a cash management system to make their businesses permanently profitable. I am Danielle Mulvey, an expert at guiding entrepreneurs on owning their financials in as little as 11 minutes per day and doing Profit First right. If you are a fan of Profit First and its author, Mike Michalowicz, you have found your tribe. We are a nation of successful entrepreneurs driven to be permanently profitable with a grit and a growth mindset that lets no obstacle stand in our way in pursuit of the 3 Ps: passion, profit, and play. On Profit First Nation, we dive into advanced Profit First strategies and we share the honest and authentic ups and downs of being a business owner. This is episode 114. And so episodes ending in 4, we talk about dream teams and how building, recruiting, hiring, and retaining 5-star employees will allow you to truly build your dream team. And that just creates so much more opportunity for you in terms of what you want to do. But the best part is when you have 5-star employees, you have employees who are producing a 3x to 4x return on their payroll. You have maximized your profitability. You don't have 1, 2, and 3-star employees bringing down your profitability because they're just dead weight in your payroll or operating expense category. All right. Today, we are going to talk about the 5 secrets to building a team of 5-star employees. And so the first secret is that you have to have a objective and very specific system for evaluating talent. So, of course, we recommend the 5-star employee rating system, and that 5-star employee rating system rates existing talent and new candidates and new talent on a 5-star rating system. And so, really quickly, that first star is making sure that those employees and candidates are aligned with your core values as the owner of the business. The second star is that the employees, they rate at a minimum acceptable level on the 11 qualities of a 5-star employee. The third star is that the employees hit the minimal acceptable rating for the specific aptitudes and skills that you need for the position or the role. And when we talk about skills, I mean, you need to be testing people for what you need them to do in the role. Everyone says it, but can they do it? So don't just say that, let them get by with saying, yeah, I can do that. You have to test their skills. And this is part of that 5-star employee rating system, is the third star, testing their aptitudes and skills and making sure they're hitting a minimal acceptable rating for those. And then the fourth star is their success metrics. So you're going to have 3 to 5 key responsibilities for each position. And you're going to have success metrics associated with those key responsibilities. The success metrics are going to quantify what success means in that role. You're going to use numbers and or dollar signs to do that. And you're going to get real specific. So everyone knows that if you're hiring a salesperson and you need them to close sales, well, the success metric is you're going to close 5 sales per month and you're going to upsell to existing customers. All right. So we quantify it with specific numbers. And then the fifth star is that return on payroll. So remember that you cannot pay for performance. All right. A 5-star employee, you can hire for the same salary that you'd hire a 1, 2, or 3-star employee. In fact, a lot of people think, oh, well, they're not so great at this, but maybe if I pay them $10,000 more a year or $20,000 more a year, they'll do better. And it's like, no. If they're already a 1, 2, or 3-star employee, money is not going to change performance. Okay. And, when we talk about return on payroll with 5-star employees, I mean, it's easy to get that 3x to 4x return on payroll. And remember that a 5-star employee does the work of 1, 2, or 3-star employees. So when you have 1, 2, and 3-star employees on your payroll, I mean, honestly, they're just really dragging down that expense because you're not very efficient with that. You should ditch those 2 or 3, 1, 2, and 3-star employees. Ditch them now and recruit and hire 1 5-star employee, because you will pay that person $50,000 a year and you will have gotten rid of the 3 employees you were each paying $50,000 a year. And that would give you what? A net $100,000 savings towards decreasing expenses. And what does that do? Increase your profitability. So let's get on that and make sure we're efficient there. So in addition to having a objective system to rate existing talent and new talent, like the 5-star rating system, the other secrets to building a team of 5-star employees is that you need to be flexible. And, this is, I think, the most underrated but often confusing aspect of building a team of 5-star employees. Because what's interesting right now in terms of flexible is everyone is hearing in the news that employees want flexibility. But I'm just going to be honest. An employee's definition of flexibility is going to be different than maybe what your definition of flexibility is. So it's important that you are flexible, but you need to be very specific about where, when, how, and why you flex. Okay. And that where, when, why, and how you flex needs to be communicated in terms of your expectations to employees who are, quote, looking for flexibility. And, if you talk about what you're looking for in flexibility, it is important to see, what they're looking for in flexibility as well. And in this flexibility thing, I think is also a mindset as well. You don't need to be so rigid about things. And just because everyone else has done this for years, you don't have to do it like that. I think right now, in terms of flexibility, especially as we've learned since COVID, there's a lot of other responsibilities. There's a lot of other priorities in one's life. My life, I'm a business owner. And I mean, I've got 2 children that play high level competitive water polo, and my schedule gets jacked sometimes because of them. And, if I want flexibility to be able to take my children to practice in the summer at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., that jacks with my normal schedule. I should offer that same kind of flexibility to my employees as well, as long as the work is getting done. And so make sure that you're kind of finding out what people want in terms of flexibility. The other thing in terms of flexibility is I wouldn't get so stuck on having people work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Okay. People's productivity is really not 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. Okay. So why pay for it if you know that it's not going to be every hour is productive? There's been studies that show that, really kind of like the sweet spot in productivity is less than 4 hours per day for an employee, whether that employee works a 4-hour shift, a 5-hour shift, or an 8-hour shift. Their maximum sort of peak ideal productivity is less than 4 hours per day. So my challenge to you would be to try to find 2 part-timers who could each give you 4 hours. And now you're paying 8 hours, but you're actually getting 8 hours of productivity because you have 2 people doing that peak 4 hours each of making it happen. There is tremendous talent out there, especially, let's just call them the stay-at-home moms now, who are kind of embarking on a different season of their life. Their children are older, they need them less, and the children are more expensive now. So the parents are like, we need a little bit more income coming into the house. And so, if you can find a sweet spot for those kind of people, I've got a couple of employees that fit that bill right now. One is Jenny, and she has been a stay-at-home mom for the last 13 years, but we brought her on board a couple months ago. And, she joins us during our daily meeting in the morning and stays with us until about 1:30 in the afternoons. And then we have Brett, and he's a little bit more flexible. Brett actually is our small business blog editor and community curator for Profit First Nation. And he's got a little bit more flexibility, but he's, in his household, he's responsible for the kids and such. So it works. And he has, more flexibility as well in terms of when he has to get the job done, because he's just working it and has like a weekly milestone to hit and such. So flexibility is a great secret that you can leverage and tap and really kind of make it this sweet spot. But you have to be very specific about how much you're going to flex, where, when, why, and how. And then understand too what your candidates or employees want or need in terms of flexibility. Then the third secret is to be an active listener. You really want the people doing the work to be talking about the work and listen in for things that might be friction for them in the position, obstacles, roadblocks, etc. Really listen to what they're doing and how they're doing it, so that, there's opportunity for you to coach them, to help work them through things, help make things easier. Sometimes there's been situations in our companies where things just kind of have been done one way for a long time, and things have changed in the world or with our technology or with apps available and such. And so, I've kind of go wide. I've got a lot of experience in a lot of different areas and such. So, I've been able to bring things to the table for our teams that help us be more efficient, because I've been listening and I hear what they're saying about things that really kind of present opportunities for improvement. And, I just don't know, because they're in our environment and they've been with us for so long. that they would have been able to find those opportunities outside of the environment. Like I am in I would say my ideal position, and that is in overseeing the operations of teams and businesses that have 5-star employees, where I can come in and use my zone of genius. I really only have to spend about 10 hours a day overseeing those operations. And that's where I can come in and kind of like add some value and help kind of troubleshoot some things and bring kind of like my experiences that I have in the outside world, talking to other entrepreneurs, working with other businesses, et cetera, into my organization to help my team do better. Then the next secret is that you need to seek and be open to feedback. So, I talked about being an active listener and picking up on things and listening for things from the people in your organization. And when I say active listening, like pick up on some fun social stuff too that you can, talk to them about and continue to build that rapport with them as well. But seeking and being open to feedback is really important as well. And so, this is where it's not only active listening, but being proactive in, seeing how things are going, asking. I ask about how things are going with your customers, how things are going with your vendors, because, that can be just, that could bring toxicity into your offices when your employees are having to deal with nightmare customers or nightmare vendors. So make sure you're touching base on all different avenues, and see how things are going and get some feedback from them in terms of, what could be better. I mean, do they want an ice machine? I mean, it can be some simple things like that that can bring great joy, great joy to your employees. They love the ice machine. We changed our coffee. I think we were using Keurigs, and they said, no, we'd rather just have a big pot of coffee. And I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. So we switched to the big pot of coffee instead of having Keurig K-cups and such. So, it stems all different aspects, but continually be seeking and being open to feedback from your employees, and especially in terms of what they need from you or what they want from you as well. All right. And then our final secret. Wow, I'm just plowing through this episode. Our final secret to building a team of 5-star employees is let them demonstrate genuine ownership in their role. So, when someone has a sense of ownership, they treat it so differently. And, what's funny is I find like business owners say, oh, if I could just clone myself, if I could just clone myself. And, what they're really saying is, I really want someone who thinks and acts like an owner. And so, if you do want to clone yourself and you do want your people to think and act like an owner, then give them ownership of what they do. Give them ownership of an area. Give them ownership of certain clients or certain vendor relationships or a corner of the warehouse. Give them ownership of keeping the kitchenette clean and stocked. Give them ownership of something. Start off small, but really, praise them on how they're doing in terms of the ownership of whatever they're owning. And, when people feel like they own something, they treat it differently. I mean, we know as business owners, we don't act or think like employees, do we? And the secret is because we own it. And when you give that ownership to your employees on aspects of the business, then, they don't want to disappoint. If they're 5-star employees, they don't want to disappoint you, and they're going to take it very seriously, and they're going to take the ball and run with it. And that's kind of what you want. You want them to run with it and run all the way to the end zone. If they fumble, no big deal. You can be there. You can coach them. They can pick up the ball and continue down the field to the end zone. But ownership is really quite a great leveraging point, a great phenomenon to give your employees, and then that ownership can grow. But, again, everything kind of takes you being all in on your recruitment, hiring, and retention of 5-star employees. I think probably one of the biggest challenges that small businesses have and the owners have is that they're too much in the business. And so they don't have time to do all of these things. So it's really important that, it's kind of at this point, I think it's at about 10, 12, 15 employees, $1 million or more in real revenue that, you should be able to step out of the business at that point. You should have clockworked the business. So the business is running itself so that you can really focus on the talent in your business and really building that dream team of 5-star employees. Of course, we do have some programming around this, and we have 5staremployees.com where you can find out what's going on there. As you know, Mike and I are collaborating on his next book, tentatively titled All In. And that should come out in the fall of 2023. But if you are sort of struggling with payroll and it's your biggest expense and you have not done a Profit First assessment or worked with a Profit First professional and done a return on payroll exercise, make sure that you connect and start talking and working with a certified Profit First professional accountant, bookkeeper, or coach. And to connect with one of my certified Profit First professional peeps, you can go to profitfirstnation.com and click on contact. Of course, there is a episode visual recap for today's show, and you can get that at profitfirstnation.com and click on resources, or at our homepage now, just click on subscribe. Cheers to another profitable day, my entrepreneurial friends. Profit First Nation website, related podcasts, and resources are provided for general information purposes only and do not constitute accounting, legal, tax, or other professional advice. Visitors should not act upon the content or information found here without first seeking appropriate advice from an accountant, financial planner, lawyer, or other professional.
Hey, this is Ro, and if you're a business owner struggling with hiring or just tired of doing it yourself, I highly recommend the Build Your Dream Team Secret Podcast series. There are 7 episodes packed with real stories from founders who've cracked the code on hiring, built high-performing teams, and finally got out of the day-to-day grind. My favorite part? It's not fluff. It's systems, strategy, and results. Text DREAM to 55444. That's DREAM to 55444 to check it out. You'll thank me later.